All right. My camera is not on. What's going on?
Oh wow!
Why is my camera not showing up? All
Again,
right,
we
I'm
are
gonna have to fix that. But right now, guys, welcome to the show, everybody. Before we jump into the heart of today's episode, I just want to tell you guys that the purpose of this live stream is really to build this online dance community for every level dancer, especially for those that are just starting out. And we know that there's so much information out there to navigate through all these different social platforms. We've seen some really terrible information out there and some really extremely valuable one as well. So our goal here is to really share our experience with you and hope that it'll prove itself to be helpful. And tonight, I'm chatting with my homegirl, my TA, my sister, Margarita. How you doing tonight, Margarita?
Hi, I'm good. I'm doing good. Hello, hello.
Yeah, and I got my boy Jay right there. We got your
yo
camera
yo
on.
yo
Why is
yo
my camera
yo.
not on? Hold on, man. Let me try to check this out. It is on, but
You might
I
have to
know why.
redirect
I'm
your
so
camera.
stupid. I'm gonna fix that. But while we're doing that, let me jump back to a quick table of content. Okay, we're gonna talk about dance history. We're gonna talk about favorite dance idols and the best worst advice. And today our main guest is Margarita. Margarita, can you share with us real quick your dance history, how you got started, and just drop some knowledge on us.
Um, it started back in I think the spring of 2015. My sister Marietta wanted to do something different and fun, and she wanted to take this hip hop class at Mission College, and she didn't want to do it by herself. And so she asked me if I wanted to take this class with her. And since most of my evenings were spent in front of the TV eating chips, I thought, why not give hip hop a chance? So we went ahead and took the class, and that's all it took, man. One class with you, Ceech, and I haven't stopped taking classes since. So it
I
just kind of
remember that
turned
was
into stuff.
2015. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show
yeah.
some photos if you don't mind later on.
What? Uh, I don't remember that. I don't remember that we talked about this before we started.
In your contract, you signed it already, so don't worry about any of that.
but you know what though? I want you to take us back to a little bit. Like, did you start dancing? Maybe even in high school or even before then. Like, what was it like?
No. I mean, I've always had a really good sense of rhythm. I mean, I was in the high school marching band.
Oh,
I was
okay.
on the drum line. I was on the drum line, so we're the beat. I've always had natural beat, natural rhythm. So I could always kind of fake my dancing funk in high school and college, but I never actually took any classes, nothing formal. I did dabble in one jazz class in junior college, and that was fun, but it wasn't my cup of tea because it was jazz. It didn't really excite me that much.
Yeah.
But and that was it. Like I haven't didn't do any real dancing until I started taking classes at Mission.
I have a question. What part of the drum line were you on?
Ooh,
Were you
yeah.
snares?
Well, no, no. I actually played the melodic part of the drum line. So I was like mallets, marimbas, and back then in the day we didn't stand still like the kids do now. I actually wore that doggone thing and marched with it strapped to me. So those things were pretty heavy. Um, I did get a chance to play on the drum line for a quick hot second because one of our bass drummers got sick, and so they needed someone to fill in really quick. So I did do that, and that was kind of scary but fun. Made me have a whole new respect for bass drummers because they, as separate entities, they had to work as basically one drummer. So it was kind of neat. That was cool.
Nice.
Scary.
Dope.
Now, something that a lot of people probably don't even know about you is that you are a teacher.
I am.
Yeah, can you
Mm-hmm.
tell us a little bit about like how dancing has affected, or if it did affect your teaching?
Um, I teach, I'm a high school math teacher. Um, well, I mean, if there was anything that I don't know if it changed my teaching style, but what it did do is it gave me something that I could share with the kids that made them feel that we had something in common.
Mm.
Like
Hmm.
now I'm listening to hip hop music and I recognize the songs that they listen to. And then every now and then, they'll pop out with they'll do something in class. I don't know, a little shimmy or a little shake or something. And then I'll do the same thing, because it's something that I learned or something. And they appreciate that. They're like, "Whoa, you can do that!" I'm like, "Yes, sort of, kind of." And then there have been times when I've, you know, I'm gonna say rewarded, but I don't know if they thought of it as a reward. But sometimes I would say something like, "Okay, if you guys can, all get at least an average of 75% on this test, I will dance something for you." And so there have been a couple times when I had to do a little something for them at the end, and they always think that I'm not going to do it, but I've always pulled it off, and they always laugh. I know they're like going, "Oh my God, this old math teacher dancing like that," but I know they appreciate it. And that's all that matters. It just gives me an opportunity to, get to bond with them a little more, put us on the same kind of ground together because we like something similar.
So,
So,
Margarita, I don't know
yeah.
if you can take a look at the screen that I'm sharing right now. There's a photo. I think this is the photo of our class when you and Marietta first took our class. Do you remember this one?
I'm trying to enlarge it because I'm on
Oh,
my
because you're on the
phone.
phone. It's kind of small. Yeah, because I see you right there in
Yeah.
the middle. We have some of the Diaz players here. Cat's on the floor. Um,
Yes.
Erickson's in the
Yeah.
back right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We got
Yep.
Lillian there right there next to JR. So this is a very fun class. What do you remember about that first class?
I just remember feeling out of my element. There were the TAs were awesome. There were a lot of good dancers in there, and it was my first dance class, so I was highly intimidated. I tried to stand in the back with my sister. We stood, in the back of the room because we didn't want anybody to really see us in the mirror, and so it was I was a little intimidated, but everybody in there was so welcoming, and the TAs especially were very helpful. And so it didn't take long for my sister and I to go from the back, then to the middle. Then we tried to get as close as we could to the front without being completely scared, because we just wanted to see what was going on, you know, up close. So that was a really fun year. I mean, my very first performance, right? Because we had
That's
to do a
right.
performance at the end of semester. That
Yeah.
was kind of scary.
Yeah.
But you know what? I after that first performance, though, I mean, it just felt like we really bonded as a class, those of us that did it. And what can I say? It got in my blood, and then I came back the next semester and did it again. So it was a lot of fun.
You
Lots
sure
of
sure
fun people
did.
in that
Here's the
class.
next photo that I post up. Can you see this one? So this is when you been in the class for a while. Now you became one of my core TAs here.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about what it's like being a TA for me.
Uh, it was well, I never really actually chose to be a TA at Ceech. You just kind of like one semester said, "And this is my TA Marguerite." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And so, but it's actually a lot of fun. I like uh, for me because it just kind of because I'm a teacher, so I naturally want to help people. So being a TA gives me an opportunity to help, people who are kind of shy or help having difficulty with a move or something. It gives me an opportunity to go help them because that's just what's naturally in my blood to do. I just want to help. And so I like doing that. I like being a part of the class in that way. So I remember being a TA for both the beginning and intermediate class. Um, and I just felt like it was the beginning class where I felt I was more of a TA, but in the intermediate class, even though I was still a TA, that's really the class where I did my learning. That's where I did, expanded my experience.
Yeah, for sure. I
So,
think you know, Jay, I think you could attest to this as well. I mean, those that don't know Jay's a dance instructor at the Get Down for us, but he also started as a dancer in Sacramento. Jay, would you talk about the benefits of actually starting to be a TA? What was that like? And of course, now you're an instructor. But I want you to speak to the benefits of TAing a class.
Well, I'm kind of like Margarita in the sense of like, yeah, here's my TA, because I was TAing for Cliff, doing Top Rock, and I was like, what? And that's actually a style that I don't really teach. So at first, it's kind of nerve wracking, especially when it's a style that I'm most comfortable with,
Hmm.
but I was never accustomed to teaching it. So it's really trying to find out the ways to not only to incorporate what you do as a dancer, but also convey your methods and your ways of doing certain moves, but also in the same sense, keeping on what the instructor, like Cliff, keeping in line what he wants to ultimately do. So you kind of want to talk to your mentor while you're TAing because you want to get an idea like what they have an idea for the class. So that way, when you are TAing, you could actually go around and help individuals that may be struggling with, say, a certain step or two, or just engage the students a lot more in expressing themselves a lot more freer and let their personality show because you guys know when I TA or even when I'm teaching, I'm goofy. I'm not strict. You guys know I'm not strict when I
oh
teach.
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Right. But those are kind of the things that I think with teaching, you kind of have to put yourself out there and be vulnerable in the sense that, like, teachers aren't perfect. Marguerite, you could attest to this too when you're teaching your students, right? That
Yeah.
when you're teaching, some things may not come off the way that you say, but there's a different meaning behind it, and that's the meaning that you want to convey to your students. But sometimes it doesn't translate, right?
Right. Mhm. Mhm.
So
I would also like to add that being a TA forced me to really up my dance game. I mean, I really had to learn and make sure that I knew the choreography well enough to explain it, to the people that I'm helping. Because if I can't explain it to them and they can't get it, then what's my purpose of being a TA? I mean,
Exactly. Yep.
you
Yep.
know,
That
and
was actually the point I was trying to get at. Because remember yesterday we were talking about how David kind of when we split the class up for those that don't know, Margarita currently is a TA for me at Mission College. Actually, not currently, but she's has been TA for many semesters. And yesterday, just in our class, we had our class split up into multiple small groups, and each of the small groups have been led by my TAs. And yesterday we had some brand new people who kind of had to start almost TAing for me, just like Jay, just like Margarita. You guys didn't ask to be there, but we, as instructors, we kind of see like, hey, some of these members are stepping up, and by putting these people in these positions, it allow them to actually grow faster, in the sense that, like Margarita was talking about, you have to put on that TA hat. You think of the choreography in a different light. You have to do more of accounting because you have to help the other students get better. So that's basically what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just like in my math class. If I can get a student to explain a math concept to another student, then I know they've truly mastered the concept, because if they can explain it to someone else and get them to understand, then they got it.
Right. And the thing I was mentioning this to the class, and this is for anybody out there listening right now, right? If you're taking a class and you're just sitting in the class and always following somebody, okay, you gotta understand, we're humans, we're a creature of habit. You're gonna keep building that habit. So if your TA, whoever your teacher, your TA is always standing on your front left or front right, whatever, it becomes such a habit that you're gonna be, by cueing off of them. And the thing is, the moment that we take that person away, that reference away, it's gonna screw you up big time. And that's why we want to start doing that right away, because I don't want my students to build a habit of always looking at either me or my TAs. A lot of times I'll show it a few times and I'll stop, right? And probably a lot of some of the beginning students probably don't like it because they always want to see me there. But my thing is, I want to train them to be able to do it without me, right? I mean, that's really the goal,
right?
Isn't it?
Yep, that is the goal, because we have a lot of students who do that for the whole class, and the minute I walk away, they're unable to do the routine on their own. And so, challenging them to work in small groups without me or without a TA, really, I think it pushes them to have to up their game and really have to learn it on their own, which is, really what they should be doing anyway, because they're not going to have a TA standing next to them, for every dance show or performance or practice that we do. So, yeah.
Okay, we're going to move forward to the next section. I want to know who your favorite dance idol is, growing up or even now. Who were some of your favorite dance idols?
So I've always enjoyed watching the Jacksons, Michael and Janet. Those were my two favorite dancers when I was younger. Every time a video came out from one of them, I would always want to watch it, and the dance sequences were always like blowing my mind. So they were always fun to watch. There was actually J-Lo was part of a dance group called the Fly Girls.
Man, you're looking at a kid from the 80s. So when that big boom of breaking came out, like a lot of like the b-boy culture that was around, like obviously watching breaking and Beat Street in me, even though if you knew me as a kid back in the day, like I was shy. I'll do shit, but I won't do it out in public. I'll just do it in like my room or in a garage by myself. Like I won't even showcase any of my stuff. I was a shy kid back in the day, not compared to now. But
I was gonna say that's hard to believe.
Yeah, if you knew me back then, you'd be like, man, that kid ain't nothing. He ain't gonna grow up to be. There's like, there's no way. Look at me now, and it's like, it's just one of those things. Like I did back in the day. Like I was just that skinny Filipino kid that just did it whenever I felt like it, and then like, nah, I'm cool. I don't want to dance. and just play video games. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was embraced in the whole b-boy culture growing up.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people have very similar stories. Like a lot of dancers, we always, internally we feel a little bit shy, but the dance is actually what gave us the confidence. So got to give a lot of credit to this whole dance culture. Now the last section I want to kind of ask you about, Margarita, is some of the best and dance advice that you could share with us. I mean, so best and worst dance advice you've heard. So let's start with the best, right? So from all the dancing that dance classes you've taken, not just with me, with all the different workshops and things like that. What would you say the best dance advice you've gotten so far is?
That I'm going to get out of it what I put into it. If if I go to a dance class, if I take dance classes and I don't do anything, then I'm not going to get anything out of the class. But if I go in and I, commit myself to doing, what we're supposed to be doing in class, then I'm going to walk away, hopefully, with some dance knowledge that I didn't have going in. So I think the best advice I got was, I'm going to get in what I put in.
Makes sense. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have time to think about it, but what do you think the worst advice you've gotten?
I don't know if I've gotten any bad advice. I feel like my dance family, because once you get into this community that we have going on down here, they become your family. I feel like all the advice I've ever gotten, and most of the advice I get is from my dance family. They've always given me something that just comes from the heart. So I can't even think of anything that I've heard that was bad advice. So I can't think of any. Yeah.
Or how about this? Instead of bad advice, was there a performance that you did that you messed up on or practice, but yet you still got good remarks? Do you believe do you believe in the fact that oh, you guys are dope, or would you have rather have heard the honest truth about your performance?
Very good.
Oh wow, that's a good one. Yes. Have I messed up? Oh yes. I can't. There's always some kind of mess up. But I think I would rather hear the honest truth because I already know that I messed up. But of course, people are always trying to be very supportive, and so they'll just, tell you that you look great. But yes, it has happened where I know I messed up, but somebody said, "Hey, that was a great show." I think they kind of try to keep me out of the equation and just say, "Hey, that was a great show." So I'm not really pointing out the fact that I messed up. So, again, because they're just trying to be very supportive, which is nice, but, the truth, sometimes you really need to hear it.
Right. I have something to share, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, but Jay jump in and Margarita jump in. I think one of the worst advice, and this is, I hear it. It used to be a good advice. Okay, it's good advice if you're a little kid. I think it's a bad advice if you're actually trying to get good. So here's the advice. I think you guys hear this a lot. The advice is just smile, right? Oftentimes, when you're either you're performing or whatever, and then your choreographer, your teacher sees that you mess up, right? And then you're nervous and everything, and then they just say, "Oh, just smile." I hate that. The reason why I hate that is because when I was learning it, if you just tell me to smile, I still suck. Like, how does that make me better? To me, it's a terrible advice. The advice should be stop messing around. Like, I kind of want to cuss right there, but the real truth is stop wasting time. Practice harder so you don't mess up. Smiling is not going to make you better. Smiling, you're just smiling because you suck. I mean, if you're a little kid, smile, that's fine. You look cute. But when you're a grown-ass adult that sucks and you smile, you just didn't work. I don't know how you feel about that, Jay. I don't know how you feel about that, Margarita. Jump in when you want to.
Oh, honestly, I'll take it to a different spectrum of like, yeah, just smile. It doesn't work for every dance performance that you will do ever in life if you are curious about this dance culture, because there's times where like you're told to smile, but it's a sad piece, or you're meant to go to a different like mindset, and you have a different thing where like I was just told to smile, so I'm a smile, but you're told that like this piece is gonna tear at your heart. Like you have to imagine that you just lost a lost one, but yet I'm gonna smile and do the choreography. It doesn't work all the time that way when you do
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Right.
So
That makes sense. Yeah.
I've heard that, and I was like, that actually does make a lot of sense. For like that should not what do you call it? That should not be a default expression for people to perform and convey on stage when you're performing, because you know you may get a song that's like happy-go-lucky, and then you might get a song that makes you angry, or
Right. Yeah, like if you're crumping or something like that, and you're smiling, what? Right?
Yeah.
Or like you said, it's a sad song or a love song or whatever, and then you're sad and you're trying to smile because you suck. That don't make sense to me.
yeah. Like it's funny when you smile, because it's like I'm doing, or like imagine like you're doing choreography and it's a sad piece, and then all of a sudden you just lock eyes with someone in the audience, and it's like, oh hi, and you smile. It's like, oh crap, kind of thing. Like, so you messed up the entire mood of the performance because you locked eyes with somebody in the audience. It does happen. So
Yep.
It does. It's pretty scary.
That's
It's
right.
like, damn.
yeah, in those instances, like you do catch like deer in the headlights. It's just how you manage to get out of that moment with that person, if you can.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So guys, our 30 minutes is about up. Towards the end of our 30 minutes, I'd like to see if we can get some audience, questions, audience Q&A here. So I'm gonna pop back into our Discord channel here. We got some folks up here. We have Thina, we have Erickson, we have Nat, we have Two Sip. So if you guys have some questions for Margarita, myself, or Jay, unmute yourself, and I think this is the first time we do it, so hopefully not all of you unmute at the same time.
Chaos ensue.
But yeah, if we do have either a comment, a question, or something like that, feel free to drop in so we could chat. Otherwise, we're gonna end it in about. Well, I'm streaming to YouTube right now, so in about a minute or so, I'm gonna stop the stream. But for everybody else that's here on Discord, we can continue to chat, and then just chat the night away. Okay.
Dang it, I should have had the YouTube stream on here. That way I could actually see like if there's anyone watching the YouTube stream.
I know.
But then,
I
was watching
couldn't
the
set that
entire
up.
time.
was there any comments in the chat, Erickson?
I mean, I was going to, I was going to like say something on there.
Sorry.
But well, it's like very, like what do you call it?
Slow.
Delayed.
Oh. Okay.
So, yeah. What was that? Margarita. What was that? Oh, am I supposed to call you Keela? I'm so sorry.
You can call me Margarita.
Okay. Well, what was the advice that you said?
That that you get you get what you put in.
If you know me, I was literally laughing.
Did your mind go somewhere else? Is that why you're laughing right now?
Yeah, he's
Poor
acting like
man.
a 17-year-old
Poor
high
man,
school
you.
boy.
That's me.
Oh, I know. You get in what you put in.
Oh wow.
did a margarita look around. That's what when you said that, I was like, I did a margarita look around, and then I was like, oh, they probably margaritas right here. But honestly, that I would say that advice is good. I would applaud for that. I just thought it was funny when it came up, but that's really good advice. Just saying.
Thanks, Harrison.
No worries.
Hey, one last one, Margarita. Can you take a look at the screen right now?
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
I do. What is that around our neck? Is that chains? Yes.
That's right. You guys got
Our
the
gold
chains.
chains.
We have. Do you remember everybody here? We got Rob on the right, starting from the right. Then we got Bonnie.
I missed that performance.
We got Lillian.
That was fun.
I miss Rob. Where is he?
I know. Yeah. JV. Got Jordan right there.
That was
Martin.
a good group. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, I remember buying those chains at Party City because we needed something hardcore.
That's
Hardcore gangster. Okay. I don't know if I can show you this. I have one more thing to show if it works. Hopefully it works. And after that, I think we'll stop real quick. Let's see. Let me see if this works.
Oh no.
This margarita freestyling?
Is it?
It was a game we were playing.
That's right.
So what were you doing?
We had down 3 words or something. It was a phrase. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So what was the word? Or what was the phrase?
I think it was something like surfing with, because it was like 3 things, unrelated things. So I think it was maybe a Michael Jackson, surfing, and then something else.
I think it was a phrase though, right? Doing something.
I feel like honestly, if I was looking back at this, it looks like it was Cardi B surfing with Michael Jackson. That's what
Oh my gosh, how can you
that was a good
remember
Cardi
that?
B because it was twerking, right?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, your memory is so good.
What kind of game is this?
Yeah, so
I just remember it was like 2 celebrities and an action or something.
So I think what we did to answer Jay's thing, it was we call it chain charade, right? So we have like 4 or 5 people go out of the room. So everybody else in the room, we would make up a really outrageous phrase, just like Cardi B and Michael Jackson surfing on a surfboard or something like that. So then we tell the first person and they act it out in a chain sequence, So Margarita won.
Play that. Play that.
That's right. Yeah.
Very stronger party like.
All right. So guys, we just passed a little bit of 30 minutes or so. So for those that are on Discord, feel free to stick around. For my YouTube audience member, we will end it here. We'll see you next time. Peace, and we out.